and we're just 0.01 of a percentage away. I think that wants you to do all these side missions to finish that off fully, which I'm not going to do. But what I am going to do, if I go back to the title screen, we have this fancy new title with the Resistance Room sort of been abandoned. It's not needed anymore. I guess this is after the cleanup they were talking about in the final cutscene. But we can press start and go on to episode Shadow. This was a free DLC pack that came out at the same time the game came out. And it's a prequel to the main game. It's only short, but we get to play as Shadow, so I am very much sold on that.
Intelligence Division. They've located an unknown base of operations that seems to be totally outside the chain of command for Eggman's army. There's a large-scale troop presence, suspiciously large for a place with no strategic value.
I can't imagine the doctor would do something like that without reason.
No kidding. And there's a rumor going around that old rotten Eggman has been developing some kind of new weapon. So...
yeah. Looks like this won't be your garden variety recon mission.
do it to it, Shadow. Omega went on ahead of you, so you can link up with him on site.
So, I have a handful of reservations about how Shadow himself is handled, or at least has been handled throughout the meta era. It feels like there's a lot of restrictions on what they can and can't do with him. But I do always enjoy seeing some Team Dark interactions. It's just like, those three, in my eyes, they kind of come as a group. They just play off each other well. They're a good dynamic with each other. So, like, if you're gonna have one of them, it feels right to have the three of them together. But as for how episode Shadow actually works, it's just a very small selection of modern Sonic levels, retooled as basically a hard mode. Because remember, we were technically already playing hard mode through the main game, even if it didn't feel like it. And you can get some sick air like so. I love doing that in that section there. But yeah, like, if you skip this, you're not exactly missing anything too amazing. But you know, there's like a little bit of extra free content. It's whatever. I feel like it sort of skips through stuff that could have been cool though, and it's another thing following the Sonic Forces trend of it's a nice idea but underwhelming, or it's a nice idea but I wish they did more with it.
What's going on over there?
It's like, I feel like Shadow deserves a bit better than just getting some slightly retooled Sonic levels. I am running into fucking everything. But the thing that I do really like about this is that we do, in fact, get some various Shadow remixes. Like some of the other Shadow themes we've had throughout the series remixed in as level themes here. So like that was just a little bit of Westopolis, which maybe not the go-to Sonic theme or Shadow theme that everyone likes, if only because you had to play through Westopolis so fucking many times in Shadow the Hedgehog, but it's one of the iconic ones at the very least.
It is the ultimate strength. And still more wonderful. Not so
We've got the two characters from the Sonic series who are known for being the edgy characters, just sort of trying to out-edge each other. And that's another reason why I like this. It's stupid. Maybe not stupid in a good way, in the same way that certain other things in the franchise are, but I just like this sort of shit, you know?
No consequence around here is that big mouth of yours.
Oh, I suppose you would think so. Oh, yes.
Evil laugh.wav.
Infinite You say you do not know me, and yet I remember you so very well.
Even just seeing their names next to each other on the name badges there, it highlights it that much more. We got Shadow and Infinite. Oh god. The thing is, like, there are only 3 playable levels here. It's a very short campaign, and I feel like the whole in media res approach they're taking here is a little bit unnecessary. It might just be me, but you know, like, I feel like you could just have a standard linear story for this kind of thing. It's not like it really benefits from doing stuff out of order here. Again, with this section, you do have to be careful with the slides, and I think I'll just go the safe way to start with, and just tank any spike balls that I hit, because I don't really care that much, in all honesty. But this level, the theme we get is Rhythm and Balance. It's a remix of the White Jungle theme from Sonic Adventure 2. I really like the Everett Bradley songs from that game, so I am more than happy to see them get remixed and repurposed here. I don't know, was he meant to be there? I don't think he's meant to appear not on the slide. Oh, maybe he is because he had the red ring. Huh.
At least the analysis of the stone was completed yesterday.
But yeah, we're stopless for the first level. I'm going flying. No, I'm not. I saved it. Fuck. Go. Let's try and hold on to this. But we're stopless for the first theme, one of the Sonori tracks, and the other 2 that we'll get are Everett Bradley tracks. There's something about that style of vocals that just works really well for Shadow, I feel. Although, saying that, I do really like the Crush 40 songs that they gave him later, as well as all the different ending themes that you got for him in Shadow the Hedgehog the game. I don't think Shadow's ever had a theme that I don't care for. Even this machine, which was technically a Team Dark theme, is pretty fucking solid.
Call me the ultimate mercenary.
I think someone's maybe overcompensating. Yeet! And there we have it. 2 of the most satisfying scenes to see in the Sonic series. Both involve Shadow kicking someone in the head. Oh.
I'm shaking. Me. Afraid.
Oh.
Pathetic. Me. He's calling me weak. No, I am not weak.
It's amazing how just that one disc can get to him so badly.
I'm not weak. I am not weak.
Kinda looks like you are, buddy. Especially with the bosses in the main game that are piss easy as well.
That day, I gave up my own.
See, Infinite, I like his character design.
I let go of the
But again, following the trend,
one that was
they really needed to do more with him. Because as it stands right now, he I wouldn't say he feels like a parody character, but he definitely still feels like he's playing it very safe for what they're doing with him. They literally got as far as he's edgy, and that's it. Like, he's edgy, he's got an edgy theme song. But as for actual interactions with the characters, it just feels really lacking. Like, even that is his origin story of Shadow kicked him in the head and he got mad. It's kind of funny seeing him have his little I am not weak breakdown, but also it would have been nice to see a bit of a rivalry build up between them rather than just have the conflict and that's it, now he just hates Shadow. And it's also a shame that they didn't actually have any Shadow versus Infinite moments in the main game. Because, like, this is his origin story. He got kicked in the head by Shadow and it hurt his pride. that's why he is how he is. But no, it's just at that point he only cares about fighting with Sonic and the Resistance.
Shadow?
So the final level of the episode Shadow DLC is Virtual Reality, otherwise known as Green fucking Hill. You kind of expected that to show up eventually here, come on.
Anybody home? We're going to pick up
But it is better than standard Green Hill because this time we get to listen to Supporting Me as the background music, which again I've said in the last level, I'll say it again here, the Everett Bradley themes are fucking incredible. And I will say that this time around it's a better experience listening to the BioLizard theme because you don't have to actually fight the BioLizard here. I'd say that though, the BioLizard is a filter for a lot of new players. It's a little bit jank. There's some sections that can unfairly kill you if you're not expecting what it's going to do. But I've played it enough times at this point that it doesn't faze me really. The last time I played Sonic Adventure 2 and fought the BioLizard was a few months ago during the second HFC Sonic-a-thon. I ran SA2, and although I died, I think either once or twice, it really isn't as hard as I remember it being. The BioLizard showed up again in Sonic Generations for the 3DS, and I seem to recall it being even easier there. So it is just the sort of boss that you get used to his bullshit and then you are able to fight him no problem. Now, I feel like I need to use this dash pad, otherwise I die. And now I've just got to time this properly. There we go! That particular last jump can be kind of fiddly. You do have to wait a little bit longer than you might expect to be waiting for a section like that.
Where? I'm back here. No. Is this an illusion?
Nope, there really is a fucking loser in a mask in front of you, Shadow.
Your reality. I didn't expect to see you come back alive, but you must admit, it was a truly wonderful show, wasn't it? This power, before we've even tuned it, just as I thought, it is unrivaled. Not even Sonic will be able to stand against me now.
We'll see about that. Evil Laugh 2.wav.
What are you plotting? What is this? Stop! Where do you think you're going, Infinite?
Evil Laugh 3.wav. He's got a lot of these.
Shadow? Shadow! Finally, the connection's back. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I forgot to charge this thing.
Forget it. Get away from there as soon as you can. There are explosions going off all over. The facility's about to collapse.
Withdrawing now. What's the meaning of all this? Rouge, are you telling me the truth?
What's the point of lying about it? Eggman got a beat on Sonic and mounted a massive assault. I mean, sure.
I don't know why there had to be a load screen there.
Sonic is there too, so I don't think it's a big enough deal for you to head out.
Yeah, Sonic's got this. He's totally not going to get kicked in the head.
Not even Sonic will be able to stand against me now.
I can't imagine the Doctor would do something like that without...
That's where it's clicking.
Shadow,
They're working together.
This is not good. Hurry, get over there.
What is it, Rouge? What happened?
So this is the part where it just replays the same cutscene from earlier. it would have been nice if there was just a little bit of a change, maybe, like even if you had an extended version where Shadow shows up, like the real Shadow, or even if he's just watching it from afar, that'd be pretty neat. But nah, it does play out exactly the same, which is a shame. On the whole, like, episode Shadow, it's free, so I'm not gonna rip into it too much. Like, this is literally just an extra, like, 15-20 minutes worth of gameplay if you want it. You can just play the standard base game without it, and you won't miss anything of note. But it's like 3 extra levels if you want them. So, while what is here is not great, like it is very rushed and there's not much substance, it's also inoffensive to me. It just makes me wish that on the whole, the meta-era games had been able to do more interesting shit with Shadow, because he is my favourite character. He's my favourite character in this entire franchise, and it's been years now since Shadow has had a proper dedicated story. I think it might have actually been 06 the last time, actually. 16 years since we've had a good Shadow story. Although that is one hell of a send-off, because like the story that Shadow got in Sonic 06 is fantastic. But if you want more about that, we put up a stream playthrough from the marathon on the HFC channel of 06 where I gushed about Shadow's story a lot there. But before I sign off here, there's a couple of extra things I want to show off. So if I go back to the title screen here, we get to see this lovely white room again. Go to continue. There were some extra things that were added after the fact. So what I want to do ideally is if I just pick out a Sonic level. Which one do I feel like? Let's... no, I did Sunset Heights version of it as Shadow. So let's just do Lost Valley for the fuck of it. What we can do, we have Supersonic and we have Shadow. So what I think I'll do is if I go through this with the Supersonic option enabled. This, like I say, this was patched in after the fact. And we know how Supersonic works in these kind of games. What you have to do, you got to get 50 rings and then it's go time. Which I have 48 already, so that's not really that big of a deal.
We don't have time to lose. Better kick things up a notch.
But here we go. And the Supersonic theme here is the instrumental version of Fist Bump, which, as far as I recall, is actually the first one we heard. Like, before they played the vocal version of Fist Bump, this was a teaser that was shown off. So, you know, like, it's a little nod back to that. But the one thing that I feel I have to discuss about how Supersonic works here, or like how Supersonic was brought into the game, is when this was first announced, this was originally going to be paid DLC. It was going to be that there would be a period of time where you could download him for free, but then after that they would put a paywall on it. And thankfully they backed down on that after getting a lot of backlash, because that would have been fucking stupid. Like, that's what Supersonic's gameplay is. And it's even less substantial in certain other levels. Like, if you enable Supersonic for a level that maybe has, you know, like certain set pieces that are scripted, like say the ending of Egg Gate or the snake part of the forest level, then it just comes out of it. So it's like every now and then in a Sonic level you get to dash a little bit faster. So I'm glad they never followed through on charging money for that, because that would be an absolute piss take of a like Supersonic bonus, like a paid DLC bonus even. But not only does Modern Sonic have Supersonic, so does Classic Sonic. So let's have another little run through Ghost Town and show this off. So like I say, this is probably my favourite of the classic Sonic levels, as sad as that is that it's the first one. But you know, this is going to take us a little bit longer to get the 50 rings, I think. So let's be careful and keep my eye out. I did notice that I just ran past a lot, but that's me being stupid. With how long it's taken me, I wonder if there'll even be any level left. Okay, there we go. Super classic Sonic. And he's got this really off-putting FM kind of remix of Fist Bump for his theme, which I'm not a fan of, you know. It's here, you can use it if you want. But some of them notes do sound like they're struggling a little bit, Jesus Christ. Here we go, it's our tutorial to do the spin dash while we're playing as Super Sonic. And there we go. Should be kind of expected that I'll get a good rank given I just sped through half the level. And then, given this was technically the episode Shadow part, I feel like I should do one more thing with Shadow. I've got to find a level that doesn't have any of those set pieces I was talking about. So, don't know if network terminal is enabled for Shadow. It is. Okay, let's do network terminal with Shadow the Hedgehog. This, I can't actually remember if this was patched in later or if this was a bonus from unlocking episode Shadow. But either way, I'll get to play with Shadow a little bit more. Again, I am feeling what I was talking about when I first played this, of like the first 30 seconds to a minute of this level exactly the same no matter what you do. So I'll just get a slightly different model to look at when I'm running through it here. Let's go the other way, let's go this way. Get that red ring. No, it just means that I have to wait even longer before I get boost. There we go, we're actually getting into things a little bit now. But yeah, this again, because there are some levels, this, like when you're playing a Shadow, it just flat out doesn't work with the levels that have the scripted set pieces. So there are only a small handful of levels that you can play as Shadow in. Which again, is kind of a shame. It would have been nice if they took the time to make specific animations for Shadow in those levels. Like, if you could have an animation of Shadow on like the spaceships, or Shadow getting forward by the snake. Or maybe not that one, but you know. Or even if they just tweaked the levels a little bit so they finish differently, that would have been cool. But this Shadow stuff does feel like it's absolute lowest priority in a game that's already kind of low budget, low priority. That's just the vibe that Sonic Forces gives on the whole. It's a shame really, because I'll echo what I said at the very start of the playthrough. This is a game I enjoy with caveats, and the caveats are just a little bit too prominent for my liking. I've had a good time playing through it again, even though I have been sort of bitching and whining a fair bit. But I don't know if I could necessarily recommend Sonic Forces to people. Like, if you see it on the sale, go for it. You know, like Sonic Forces, every now and then it goes on sale and you can get it for like a tenner. It's worth a tenner. But if you've played, let's say, Colors and Generations, I think, like, unless you are a diehard Sonic fan who wants to play every game, I would say skip Lost World, and you can skip this. And maybe go straight on to Frontiers. Frontiers, the game should be coming out tomorrow at the time of this video going up, so if you're buying that game, I hope you have fun with it. I fully intend to play it myself, and we'll be covering that game over on the Hellfire Commentaries channel. That will be myself, Tom and Richie will be covering that game. It'll be a live run. I'll have played a little bit of it before we go into the recording, but Tom's going to be playing it blind. So if that interests you and you want to see what Sonic Frontiers is about before buying it for yourself, then go subscribe to Hellfire Comms on YouTube. But I think for this playthrough, I'll just wrap it up with a summary, I guess. Sonic Forces is okay, but I wish it was great. Sonic Generations was great. Sonic Unleashed had soul. This game, it's not great and it doesn't have soul. It's okay. And that's, I guess, where I'm going to leave it as we move into what seems like a new era for Sonic. I don't know what we're going to call it yet. It's not got a fancy name like the Meta era had just yet. But I'm excited for the future of Sonic. So that's where I stand right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been the Flameclaw, and this has been Sonic Forces. I'll see you next time for another playthrough. Bye bye for now.